Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and it's Destiny Awaits night for Arsenal as they try to come back from 1-0 down in the Champions League to progress to the Champions League quarter-finals. Paradise. Will it be paradise or will it be despair? Ice. Actually, I've got a better one. Will it be paradise for Arsenal at full time, or will it be falling through the ice for Arsenal at full time? I should have planned that one out a little bit better. This is why I don't do scripted. I don't do scripted. I do freestyle. What is going on? Yeah, okay, so look, we're ready to go here, and I hope you're all ready as well. I want Arsenal to win. I'm an Arsenal fan for tonight. I feel like I'm an Arsenal fan a lot at the moment. I'd rather Arsenal win the league over our biggest rival, Liverpool and Manchester City, and I'm sure many people understand that. And I want Arsenal to win tonight because it's very important that the English clubs get the extra spot. Now, I'm not saying Man United are going to get 5th place, but I'd rather Villa or Spurs got that 5th spot than Augsburg or Roma. I don't even know who's in 5th place in Germany or Italy, but I would. I'd rather we had more teams in it. It helps us out in future years, of course. And people don't realise that. Whether Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle, Brighton get in the Champions League in 5th place this year or not, having 5 clubs in the Champions League next year will increase our chances of having that extra spot next year. You've got to be in it to win it, basically. So I've never been that guy as well. Or, well, I say guy because I'm not a girl. But I've never been that guy. I know I've got friends who... Yes, I do have friends. I have friends who, when you watch European games, they always say, I always want the English... Will is absolutely this person. Brexit Will. He's always the guy that will say, I just want the English team to win. Whereas for me, I don't want Liverpool to win. They're our biggest rival. I don't want Man City to win. They won 1-5. You know, but actually this season... it's made me start to want the English clubs to do well because there's something in it for us. So, yeah, very much looking forward to this. And hopefully we're going to get an absolute cracker. Arsenal have got to go for it. Remember, they're 1-0 down. They're 1-0 down in this match. So they've got to go for it tonight. And, yes. Mark Saguna for tonight, says Zero. Yeah, sod it. I for one night only. But, well, no, for 2 months only, probably. Yeah. We're in London, aren't we, says Martin. But do you think they'll do it? I do think they'll do it, if I'm being honest with you. I think that the way that they've played this season and the way they've played in the last 2 months, really, they should do it. My only concern is, and we'll be keeping an eye on Barcelona-Napoli, because that's an interesting game as well, is that, you know, it might be one of those nights. That's the only problem. So Raya's back in goal. No surprise there. White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kiviar. Odegaard, Rice and Jorginho. I really like the balance of that midfield, which means Havertz plays as the false 9, Trossard and Saka. Obviously, I think Martinelli's out injured at the moment. Costa in goal for Porto. Good goalkeeper. Hipsters love him. Lopez Pepe. He's 92. De Silva, Vendel, Varela, Gonzalez, De Concert, Cossa, Rodriguez, Barbosa. So that's how they're lining up. And Arsenal's bench ain't looking too bad. Ramsdale, Partey, Jesus, Smith Rowe, Nketiah, Tomasiasu. I know you said tomato sauce. Tomiyasu, Vieira, Alnini, Zinchenko. They've got some good players. Nelson. They've got some good players on their bench. So we're good to go here. And I'm very excited. Happy to see the Wheeler article, Haters in the Bin. Mario, that article by Chris Wheeler. I mean, I could kiss him. You know, because it's the truth. And every other media outlet hasn't bothered to put the truth out there because they don't want us to get shit taken off us. But fair play to Chris Wheeler for doing that, because there was actually an article in the Daily Mail yesterday that wasn't that helpful. So fair play for him to do that. Basically, a story came out on Sunday that a couple of United players were fuming with Rasmus for doing an interview with the United stand, and Rasmus had basically said he wasn't aware of it, and you know he wouldn't have done it if he'd known, and we got a load of shit for it. Basically, I still really don't understand why we got a load of shit for it, because why are fans sticking up for 2 players that have probably been shit this season? But I don't know. Anyway, I said on Sunday night, this is complete and utter bollocks. We're at Carrington all day. It had been planned for months, and everybody knew we were doing it. Today, Chris Wheeler has obviously got in contact with people or somebody, and he's put an article out saying a couple of United players found it you know, humorous that Rasmus was doing an interview with us because apparently United Stand had been critical of those players. But Rasmus said, look, I've been watching the United Stand for years and I want to do the interview. Which is the truth. And I knew that at Carrington. I knew there was a couple of players that were a bit funny about it, but they weren't stopping it or anything like that. Because guess what? Not everybody likes everything. Right, anyway, let's get back to this. This is a massive game tonight. Absolutely ready for it. We're about ready to kick off as well. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Thanks everybody who's getting involved in the podcast as well. Out today, Goldbridge Saves Football. And the great thing is you can watch it visually as well. So it goes out on Spotify first thing in the morning, and it's actually out on the channel now as a video. So you can check it out there as well. Who's the greatest super sub ever, says Pilgrims Talk? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. FA Cup FA Cup quarterfinals this weekend, isn't it? I don't even know what the fixtures are about from Man United. Liverpool. Chelsea play Leicester, don't they? Yeah, anyway, we're up and running here. Time is running, which is good. Para. I'll stop singing it now. I was in the kitchen and that was on the radio. So yeah, just looking at the weekend fixtures, we've got Man City against Newcastle at 5:30, Wolves against Coventry at 12:15, and then obviously on Sunday you've got Chelsea against Leicester at 12:45 and Man United against Liverpool at 3:30. I think we'll do Man City Newcastle as a watch along, although Man City will batter Newcastle, I think. Gordon out for 8 months apparently. We saw it last night together, didn't we? Yeah, a lot of people are asking why the physio bent his knee and whether that's made the injury worse. You have to. I think it's actually part of the diagnosis, to be honest. I don't think he's done anything wrong. Solihull Moors are playing tonight as well. Can we, keep an eye on them up the Moors? Am I going to do any other games on Saturday, Mark? No, they're all a bit shit, really. I'll keep an eye on Fulham Spurs at R5, but yeah, there's not really anything Premier League wise that jumps out this weekend. West Ham Villa at 2, but I'll be doing Man United against Liverpool. Good evening, everybody. Arsenal will be going for a goal early, and I mean, imagine if Porto scored first. That'll make for an interesting night. It's foggy tonight, says Charlie. Do you get fog in London? How long's Martinelli out for, Yoda? Here's a question. This is perfect for That's Football. This is a question I got asked this afternoon, right? I'm not going to tell you by who. Could be Seb. Could be a doctor. Oh, I'll tell you what. That was a hard tackle on Saka there. They're on the attack though, Arsenal. Trossard down the byline, whips across to the back post. Elliott gets there. Not Elliott. Who am I thinking about? Ben White. If you could make one animal extinct, who would it be? Don't worry, you're not going to prison. Oh, I've just realised. I don't know why I walk into this trap. I've already had 2 emails this year from the RSPCA. It's a hypothetical, and it might lead to some good conversation during the first half. If there's one animal you could make extinct, what would it be? Somebody just said humans. It's an interesting one. You've got the power. Don't worry, I'll protect you from Attenborough and the RSPCA. But you've got a hypothetical removal of animals. Anyway, You know the RSPCA getting in contact with me because I was talking about knocking out a polar bear, hypothetically. Why aren't they getting in contact with people like Tesco? I mean, the amount of chickens they must kill every year is running into the millions. That's not serial killer. That's chicken, like, there must be a word for it. Squirrels. I like squirrels. Hi Mark, could you do multiple polls on Arsenal versus any of the reigning teams in the Champions League? I want to see what people think on our strength. Hey, I like this, it's Louis. I'm going to start that off. Who would win, I'm going to call it. Who would win Arsenal, Real Madrid? Go. Shogun says Turkish outlets are reporting that there's a Turkish manager in consideration for Man United now. They're just throwing names around now. Katie Price is who Grace Sheridan would make extinct. She's not an animal, though. I mean, she might be in your opinion, Grace. What animal, though? But Curry would get rid of a blobfish. Mosquitoes, especially if you live in East Africa, says Nigel. He's gone with something logical. I don't know whether mosquitoes serve a purpose in the ecological system of the planet. But Paul would get rid of Astrid Witt. Yeah, what animal is she, though? I'm saying, you know, if you're saying that cow, yeah, but if you've got to kill all cows to get rid of Astrid Witt, then, haven't you? You won't be able to have a beef burger. Joshua would get rid of a great white shark. I think that's just cowardly, Joshua. I mean, I would not get rid of polar bears just because I don't like them. You know, I'm not going to remove my nemesis through the push of a button of extinction. Although it would be quite fun to press that button, remove every polar bear, and then take a flight to the North Pole and just walk around saying, "Do you want some? Do you want some? I'm Andy. You got no land. You got no life. You got no ground." Wasps can go. Yeah, wasps. The wasps serve a purpose, S. Shay says he'd get rid of crocodiles even though he lives in the UK. I'm going to have a think about it. Matthias would get rid of seagulls. He detests them. I have not really thought it through, to be honest. I just thought it was quite an interesting question. We're talking, what animal would you make extinct if there were no repercussions lawfully? Skunk, says Stuart. Oh, you can't get rid of birds, although they do wake me up in the morning at the moment. Good start to this game, 7 minutes in. Apparently wasps are essential for life, says Fu. Somebody just said to get rid of dogs. Mosquitoes, says Jake. Spiders. I like spiders. They kill flies. That's one. I tell you what, that's a good one. A fly. I bloody hate flies. But with their stupid buzzing. Oh, you know when you try and do some work and you can just hear a buzz. And I really hate the buzzing quick ones. You know, some of them are rubbish. They go really slow and buzz, and you can almost flick them. But some of them, they buzz and they're fast, and it's almost like they've got a brain. They do it on purpose. They'll fly past your nose and then they'll go up somewhere and they'll see you coming. I am watching the game. Don't worry. Porto are just knocking it around at the back. To be fair, Arsenal's intensity in the first 8 minutes isn't what I thought it was going to be. Obviously, just not going to expend too much energy in the first few minutes here. Rats, says Saeed. That's a great one. Get rid of rats, both the animal and the people who stab you in the back. I tell you what, if we made rats extinct, it wouldn't just be the animal going. There's a few rats I know. Blue bottles can do one. Find the window for once, says Hulls. And chicken genocide. I'll get my membership soon, says Daniel. Thank you very much. I like turkey, Matt. I want to just get me hands on this. There's a big game going on tonight in the National League. There's a lot of games going on tonight, actually. Old Will, who I do the podcast with, he's at St Andrews watching Birmingham City play. They're doing absolute shite at the moment. And they're losing already to Middlesbrough. Yeah, they're doing rubbish at the moment. I need that. What am I looking for here? National League. 0-0. 0-0 with Boreham Wood at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it. Porto are doing very well at the moment. They're just whacking the ball around the back. Snakes, kills, and without them, then you can walk almost everywhere on this earth, says Harvard. Arsenal on the attack. Odegaard. Cross to the back post. Oh, a slip, but Pepe was there anyway. Trossard. Cross shot. Ooh, cleared away. You can actually shoot down seagulls in Denmark, says Matthias. You can do it in England as well. You just get arrested. Daddy long legs are nightmares, says Simon. I just think daddy long legs are a little bit like... I'm trying to think what daddy long legs are like. They're a bit irrelevant, aren't they, really? Well, who is comparable to Garnacho in transfer values is Tyler Wilson. 67% say Real Madrid would beat Arsenal. I thought that was a really good either or, but obviously a lot of people think Real Madrid are better than Arsenal. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it'd be a bit closer than you think. Demo's done a super chat. Thank you very much. He says, Mark, what are your opinions on the controversy regarding your interview with Hoyland and the criticism you received? Mate, it's gone now, of course, but I was stunned on Sunday. Absolutely stunned. I mean, some of the messages I got, death threats, all sorts of stuff. And I still really don't understand it because it came from an article in a fanzine that said a couple of United players were furious with Rasmus Højlund for doing the interview, and Rasmus basically said he wasn't aware of the United stand and, you know, apologised. I don't understand how you go from that, whether it's a lie or not, which it is, to piling on and giving people death threats. It just doesn't make any sense. I still don't understand what the problem is with two players having a problem with a player doing an interview and why the fans would be bothered with it, because the interview happened. But of course, it's been proven. Saka's just had a shot, costed as well. Of course, it's been proven, the truth, that that's not what happened at all. Who's comparable to Garnacho in transfer value, chat? Well, he's 19 years of age. He's nowhere near his ceiling. Is there a player like that at the moment in the Premier League? I can't. Nobody jumps to mind. He's quite a unique talent, isn't he? Because he's delivering, but you know there's a lot more to come. Someone just said Cole Palmer. It's not a bad shout, actually. It's not a bad shout. Used to rip legs off daddy long legs as a kid, says SPX. That's horrible. Oh, Odegaard shoots wide. My mum always told me that we had this rockery in the garden. If you don't know what a rockery is, a lot of middle class people have them. I don't know why we had one. You basically have a mound of earth and you put some rocks in it and some flowers. It's not a big mound. It's not Mount Everest. It's about that tall. And apparently, I used to sit on this rockery with a toothpick, stabbing bumblebees when I was about 3. Couple of questions. I've always liked bumblebees, and where did I get the bloody toothpick? I'm not Sylvester Stallone in Cobra walking around going like this. Let me just clean my teeth. Oh, here's some bumblebees. Yeah, I don't believe the story, but I get told it a lot. Connor says, as a Liverpool fan, I couldn't be happier that Mike Weller-Edwards is back as CEO of football for FSG. Hope we get Alonso now, and next season is going to be very promising for Liverpool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people reacting to that. Why did he leave in the first place, Connor? Padge says, start, bench, sell, Oasis, Blur, Coldplay. Sell, Coldplay, bench, Blur, start, Oasis. I do like all three of them, but that is the truthful answer. And it's the right answer. Legend is that Klopp and him didn't work well together. Okay. He's got a good reputation, Edwards, though, hasn't he? Barcelona have scored, by the way. It's 1-0. 1-0 to Barcelona. Let's have a look who did score. I think the second leg is... Is the second leg in the new camp or not? Well, he's onside there. There we go. No, it's in Napoli, isn't it? Or is it? Where's this game being played? I think is it Torres who scores? Is it the mini camp or something? Where is this game being played? That's not the new camp. It is being played in Barcelona. The 1-0 up. Thoughts on Connor Bradley? Says Mabol. Really very good. Very, very good. It's the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona because the new camp is being renovated, to Taylor. Porto have just had a very good shot that we missed there. Outside the box. Not far wide. Raya was full stretch, but it was going wide. Thank you very much for your super chat, Rebecca. Let me just keep an eye on this. No, Porto have cleared it. Rebecca says, I don't understand why people come at you. It has to be jealousy. I'm a Liverpool fan and you are by far the best content creator. Thank you very much, Rebecca. I really appreciate that. And it's a weird world that we live in. I mean, I really did not understand it on Sunday. I mean, one of the big points was that the United stand is toxic and slags players off all the time. And it's like, look, there has been times when players have had a bit of shit. But actually, for the last two years, it's not even been that bad. It's not. It's been pretty positive, actually, for the last 2 years because I just think, well, I think most fans want to back the manager and hope it worked. I think Barcelona have scored again. Well, Napoli are going out. It's funny how football turns around, doesn't it? Really. Rafinha shoots and then Cancelo hits the post and then Cancelo follows it in. Napoli have fell off a lot, haven't they? Last year they were almost untouchable, weren't they? Yeah, 2-0 after 17 minutes. That tie's looking over. Real Madrid, let's end that poll. Bergkamp or Zola, says Animal. Well, I'll run the poll. I guarantee a lot of people in the chat aren't actually able to know, but and we'll go off reputation. I know who I prefer. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, because we were only about 10 subscribers away. Yeah, we are. We're 10 subscribers away from 120,000, 1.12 million. So please do subscribe. We're only 10 away. Still 0-0 between Solihull and Boreham Wood. Could do with winning that one. Headed over the bar. All offside anyway. I describe the opening here as patient from Arsenal. 20 minutes have gone. Porto have looked okay. Arsenal have been, I suppose, knocking on the door. Statistically, this is how it looks. 5 shots, 1 on target, 54% possession. I mean, it's not massively high possession for Arsenal. I think Porto have done reasonably well in the first few minutes here. Nice ball over the top to Trossard. Takes it down, not as well as he would have liked, but he's still got it. Nearly takes it out for the throw-in. I want the Sphinx to get extinct, says the Superfly. Start bench sell, Beckham, Figo, Pirlo. Why do people always put Pirlo in? I mean, Pirlo was good, but I think people... Here's a take for you that's going to get me in trouble. I think Pirlo gets overrated. He was really good, but he shouldn't be turning up in Pirlo, Iniesta, Xavi things. Like, he's getting sold. Like, and I've seen it happen a few times. Pirlo always gets thrown in there like he's like one of the best midfielders that's ever been, that's fallen out of a chuff. And it's he's very good, but I don't agree. Oh, good save by Raya. I don't agree with it, him getting thrown in with stuff like that. Beckham was overrated, says Vita. I'd love to know your age, mate. Love to know your age. I'm a little bit worried about Arsenal here. I'm a little bit worried about Arsenal. They're a little bit sleepy. They need to wake up. Porto have come with a game plan, and I'll tell you what, if Arsenal were to go 2-0 down, they'd be in big shit. Start bench sell, Beckham, Figo, Pirlo. Well, I'll start Figo. He was the best of the three. I'll bench Beckham and I'll sell Pirlo. Salah and Van Dijk at risk of leaving with Edwards data-driven and age. Why he left Klopp wanted Milner and Hendo. He wanted to leave. Views on multi-clubs, says Jordan Hall. Do you see football heading in the right direction, says Wan. And do you think Sterling will get called up for the Euros? No. I don't, Harry. I think Rashford will go now. It's interesting. It'll be interesting with Michael Edwards then. I think Salah's going this summer anyway. I don't know why people think he's staying. That's just my take, but... top 6 this year in order. I think Liverpool win it, says Josh. Reverse psychology jinx. Liverpool. I've got Man City first, Liverpool second, Arsenal third, Spurs fourth, Villa fifth, Man United sixth. We will never see another Beckham. That man could curl the ball onto the striker's foot or head, says Parker. Beckham's underrated. He was underrated when he was playing, and he's still underrated now. Phil says Rashford can't go to the Euros, surely. But Calvin Phillips shouldn't go to the Euros. Jordan Henderson shouldn't go to the Euros. There's a few others that probably shouldn't go to the Euros, but it's Southgate in charge. He'll take the people he knows. Bergkamp. I mean, this is what I mean. This is when it's a problem when you start talking about players that played in like the 90s, because most of you unfortunately haven't got a clue. Never in a million years should Bergkamp be 72% over Zola at 28%. I mean, that's just football poverty. That is a football poverty opinion. No way. You're acting like I've said Haaland against Solanke. Like 72% Bergkamp, 28% Zola. That is incredible. That should actually be close. That should not be a landslide. But we are doing an Arsenal watch along actually, so that probably explains it. Zola is I think Zola's probably my favourite outside of Man United import into the Premier League in Premier League history. I loved Zola, and he was bloody good in. And also, I used to watch a lot of Serie A in the 90s because we had it on Channel 4. It was post-Italia 90 World Cup. Zola was... they had so many brilliant players like Zola as well. They had Zola, Signori, Del Piero, Baggio. Just so many players like that. Was he the best ever Chelsea player? He's just amazing player. Amazing player. Arsenal need to start. As I said, Arsenal need to wake up here. Is Pickford going to be England's goalkeeper? Yes. That's from Harry. And go bold, Mark, says Alan Gaming. No, I'd look an idiot. I'd look an idiot. Padge says, start bench sell. Faulty Towers, Only Fools and Horses, or Partridge. There you go, Padge. Oh, I've got to do it. I'll sell Faulty Towers, I'll bench Partridge, and I'll start Only Fools and Horses. Oh, very good. Here's Trossard. Oh, goal kick. Top Gun soundtrack or Rocky soundtrack? If it's Rocky 4 soundtrack, Christopher Wilkinson, it's undefeated. The bit where he gets in the Porsche after Apollo dies. No Easy Way Out. And the lights come up and he changes gear to the music. There's no easy way out. He's just blasting it through the tunnel. Love it. What's wrong with Napoli, says Ronnie. I mean, I think I love Rocky 4. But it might be a shit film. I love Rocky 4, but it could be a really shit film. Just the soundtrack's so good. Arsenal fans have a very high opinion of Bergkamp, like he was some sort of god. I remember he scored a few wonder goals, but was he that amazing? Yeah, he's a good player, Nick P. I mean, I really like Bergkamp. The interesting thing about Bergkamp is he wouldn't fly. Like, there was times when Arsenal were playing in Europe and he couldn't play because it would take him too long to get there. So, like, if Arsenal had a game on a Sunday and then they were playing a Turkish team like Galatasaray on a Wednesday, he wouldn't play because it would take him so long to get there. True story. He wouldn't fly. I don't know whether he'll fly now. CF said he was scared of flights because of a traumatic flight experience. Well, you can understand that, but would you not think, I've had that now, it won't happen again? That is a true story. He wouldn't fly. So he didn't used to play in some European games for Arsenal. Aiden says, what game are you doing tomorrow? I might have a night off tomorrow. Definitely having a night off on Thursday. Oh, and Reyes there again. I tell you what, Porto are more dangerous than Arsenal. They need a bloody... You know what Arsenal need? They need a bloody kick up the arse. They're all right, bloody kick up the arse. What are they doing here? We need Arsenal to get... They've got to score 2. Here's Saka. Come on, he won't let us down. Into the box, overlap with Ben White. Little dinky cross to the back post. Goes for a goal kick. He definitely did. Corner, Pepe. Atletico Madrid against Inter tomorrow, and then Dortmund against PSV. Oh, God. Nah. Not for me. Not for me. Sorry to hear the abuse towards United Stand presenters, Mark. Big fan of the team, despite disagreeing. People forget it's a human on the other side of the screen. Thanks, Gog. Appreciate that. Love that. Thanks for your support. Pepe's gone down here. I think it's just old age. Corner was good. Arsenal have been good at corners, but Porto clear it. Well, hold on a minute. Saka's gone down injured. Doesn't look too bad. Cross about to come in. Just laughing at Will Brazier's Twitter post. Really enjoying a Tuesday evening for Birmingham, who are losing. Right. Odegaard's going to whip this cross in. No, he's not. Yes, he is. Too much. Too much. Punch by Porto. Saka gets it. Goes for a corner. Another Porto player's gone down injured here. What's this about? Lisandro Martinez has been called up for friendlies for Argentina taking place this month. What the fuck's going on here? That's bollocks. That can't be true. That's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, nothing happens with the corner. Arsenal are looking like they are starting to ramp it up a bit. Stephen prefers Partridge to Only Fools and Horses. Oh, they're different types of comedy. There's no doubt about that. If you were a manager, would you prioritise the league or the Champions League, Mark, says Max? I think this is a very good question. If you were in Arsenal... Napoli have scored a goal, by the way. Thank you very much for the update. Let me just double check that I've not been lagged. Well, maybe it's not over for Napoli. It is 2-1, 3-2 an aggregate. I'd be interested to see what people think about this. Max raises a good point. Should Arsenal be prioritising the league or the Champions League? I mean, the truthful answer is at this moment in time, you keep going in both. I mean, it's not hard to do the Champions League and the league. But it is hard to win them both, but it's not hard to stay in both. Like, but if it came down to it, surely Arsenal's priority is to win a trophy. So I'd say the league. Should I bet on draw Napoli-Barca? What do you think, says I am Ronnie. It looks like it might be heading towards that, I think. Do you think Liverpool will have a downturn when Klopp leaves as treble champ? Not if they get it right. They've got a really good team. If they get a manager in that comes in and, you know, plays a similar style to Klopp, you could see it working. It just depends what players go as well. If Salah and Van Dijk went, then that's massive. What's your favourite American sitcom? Mine is Frasier, says LFC. I never really watched Frasier or Cheers or Seinfeld or anything like that, or Curb Your Enthusiasm. I did watch all of Friends, so I'd have to throw that in. And would you class something like Schitt's Creek as a sitcom? Because I watched all of those as well. Baking Rock Cakes, great show, says Pal. And Harry says, do you think that Cole Palmer should go to the Euros? Yes. Cal says, are you supporting English teams so they increase the number of teams in the Champions League? Yes. Who's your favourite team in Italy, says Luke? Always been Juventus. In fact, I was showing you some shirts yesterday. I've got a Juventus shirt as well. What order? Lampard, Scholes, Beckham, Gerrard, Alonso, says Jordan. Alonso 5th, Lampard 4th, Beckham 3rd, Gerrard 2nd, Scholes 1st. That's an honest take. Start, bench, sell. Havertz, McAllister, Gallagher. Sell Havertz. Bench Gallagher. Start McAllister. Anthony or Fellaini, says Kyle. Oh, come on. I never liked Fellaini, so I'll go Anthony. Even though that's stupid, I still wouldn't. I couldn't stand Fellaini as a Man United player. Didn't dislike him as a person. Just could not stand having a player like that at United. Just can't stand it. Just anti-United. Like, that's not a United player. I'll never forget when he dribbled it out of play from one side of the pitch to the other. Start, bench, sell. Gomez, White, Delot. Well, you're chucking a United player in there, so there is always going to be red tinted glasses. Delot starts. White would have to be benched and Gomez would have to be sold. It's Louis says, can you do some more Arsenal polls against City, Barca, Inter, etc.? Now, I'm not going to do all of them, mate, but I'll tell you the answer. Arsenal would beat Bayern. They would beat Barca. They would beat Inter. They will lose to City. Havard says, it was confirmed today that Liverpool will buy a new club in the portfolio of multi-clubs. And what is your thought on that? I know that Ineos has Nice, but what do you think? Many are against it. I don't like it, Harvard. Whether my club does it or not, I don't like it, but it's the future. You know, we're going to see, you know, more and more of these collection of clubs. I don't like it. I think the sporting integrity of it is wrong. And I'll tell you for why. The biggest club in the portfolio will always be, it becomes a franchise, doesn't it? You know, whoever Liverpool buy, let's say Liverpool buy a French club, that becomes Liverpool feeder club, really. And that's what I don't like about it. It's just sporting integrity starts to be eroded because imagine Liverpool buy Monaco and Monaco become quite good. And then Monaco will never win the Champions League because Liverpool will take their good players. There's been a yellow card here for Saliba. 38 minutes gone, 0-0. Arsenal fans, are you starting to get a little bit nervous here? Remember, they're going to need 2 goals. Could have extra time tonight. Never thought about that. I don't just read donated comments, FSI. What happens is I make sure I read all of the donated comments because that's the way it should be. And then when they're red, I interact with the non-ones as well, which has always been the case. So stop being a little snitch, because that's not what happens. What should Man United realistic goal be next year, says Mads. Hard to tell. Don't know who the manager's going to be. Don't know who's going to get sold. Those two things would dictate it. But I think you've got to be looking... You're not going to win the league next year. You've got to be looking at trying to get as high up the league as you can, but certainly in the top 4. Darwin says, can you rank Cantona, Beckham, Scholes, Keane and Giggs? Mate, you are really... We're only in the first half and people are chucking questions at me that are going to exhaust me before half time. I'm going to be more tired than Saka in a minute. This is brain power to keep watching a game, interacting, and then having to work out your top fucking 5s of players that played years ago. Take it easy. Just give me... Can't you just do what? Either or. Bread or having a shit? I do like a bit of bread, but there's nothing more satisfying than a good shit. Which bread can help firm up, actually. Okay, let me do it. Cantona, Beckham, Scholes, Keane and Giggs. You couldn't have a different set of legends if you wanted to. Trossard, goal. What a goal that is. That's a goal. That's a goal. And it's a good goal. The pass to get him in was fantastic, but to finish from there is even better. Trossard makes it 1-0. Game on. Let's have a look at it. Lovely pass. I'm tempted to say it was Odegaard with the pass, but I don't know. Could have been Havertz. Big goal. Big goal. Let's watch it back. Yeah, Odegaard. It's going to be Odegaard with the pass, isn't it? Plays it to Trossard. Gives it him back. Oh, look at this. Oh, the pass by Odegaard. That goal by Arsenal, I'm going to tweet it, and it deserves thousands of retweets. Oh, it's just so good. It's such a good goal. But Odegaard in that, just magnificent. Absolutely brilliant. That's what Man United need. They need a 10 like that. Somebody who just wants to keep the ball and then will play the pass when it's on. It's just so good. So good. That's how a number 10 should play. He is so... He's probably the best number 10 in the league, to be fair. People will say De Bruyne, but I mean across the whole season. And this is why Havertz was first half of the season, Odegaard wasn't playing like this. I always said it, didn't I? Always said the balance of Arsenal's midfield pre-Christmas wasn't right. And it was stifling Odegaard, having Havertz in the same space. Soon as Jorginho comes in and Havertz goes false 9, Odegaard gets the number 10 space all to himself. Lovely. That was disgusting from Odegaard, says Bronzy. For me, McTominay's a bit like Fellaini, says Niz. Do you think they should bring the away goal in, says Max? I don't know. Because in this game, it wouldn't make any difference. I tell you what, that was a late tackle by Gabriel. Doesn't get any of the ball. Surprised he didn't get a yellow card for that. United need Arsenal to win for a chance of 5th, says Niki. Okay, I'm going to rank Cantona, Beckham, Scholes, Keane and Giggs. I mean, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Ranking Cantona, Beckham, Scholes, Keane and Giggs. I mean... Right. I mean, are we doing it on ability or are we doing it on who's your favourite player? Right, I'm going to do it on my favourite players. If I'm doing it on my favourite players, Giggs, Cantona, Scholes, Beckham, Keane. If we're doing it on ability, Keane, Beckham, Scholes. No, Keane, Beckham, Giggs, Scholes, Cantona. Why people crying about Arsenal goal offside, says Alex. I don't know. It was brilliant. I didn't rank Giggs as my favourite. He was 5th. I moved through the other way. I go from 5th to 1st. Joel says, I loved Schitt's Creek. It was good. It was good. Still 0-0 with Solihull Moors, yeah. Half time as well. Well, look, Porto have played well in this game. I've played the game. They've played well in this game, but it's 1-1 in real time. But Porto won't give up. Their player's just gone down for a penalty in the box. Doesn't realise he's been hit by his own man. Declan Rice having a bit of a go. Hey, up! You can't grab people around the neck, Varela. He'd be off in the Premier League for that. You can't grab him around the neck. Declan Rice just said to him, watch. It's amazing what you can get away with in the Prem. Outside the Prem, I mean, he grabbed his bloody neck. Could have killed him. Could have bloody killed him. Porto. Porto. Yeah, that's funny. That Porto player goes down looking for a penalty, gets fouled by his own player. And he's very hurt. Someone's going to get a red in this, says Disease Gaming. I thought Keane is your favourite player ever, says Matthew. Yeah, I ranked Keane #1 in my favourite players, and then I did one on talent. Roy Keane wasn't as naturally talented as Scholes and Cantona and Giggs, but he is my favourite player. So I did it on my favourite players, and then I did it on talent, which is what I said. Porto is disgusting. Boot 'em back to Portugal, says SHSHS. These fullbacks for Porto would be perfect for us, says Sam. Is Southgate the right man for England, says Mr. LSC? Well, he better be. I'm starting to really look forward to the Euros, by the way. We're going to be pumping it up for the Euros because I am Mr. Euros. I'm really starting to get excited about it. England are going to win it. It's coming home. We are. I've never been so confident that we're going to win it. I reckon Mike Bassett could manage them set of players to the World Cup, to the Euros. Ken Barlow, Alan Sugar. The only thing that can stop us winning the Euros is Gareth Southgate, basically. And I even think with him as a handicap, we will still do it. It's like starting the season. It's like Man City starting the season with a 10-point deduction. I still think they could win the league. If we don't win it, it's embarrassing, Shirley. Exactly. It's getting a bit physical out there. It certainly is. Let's get physical. Physical. Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk. Let's get... I don't know what... don't sing that, Goldbridge. What? I don't even know why I would do that. I've played the game. Are we at half time? Yeah, half time. Half time. Well, I think Arsenal will be quite happy with that. 1-1 at half time. Game will open up a bit more in the second half, I suppose. They've been the better team. And it's a very, very good goal as well. And as I said, look, if you don't appreciate the beauty of Odegaard as a number 10, then football's not for you, because that was absolutely exquisite number 10 play. And I think this is, I mean, look, and give us your thoughts at half time, but just to take it into a different conversation for a moment, I really do think that some people don't really understand or appreciate is the better word, the skill profile of different players. And if you think at number 10, you think of some number 10s like Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, Martin Odegaard. They're actually really different. And maybe De Bruyne is the prototype, because he's got bits of Bruno's game and he's got big bits of Odegaard game, and I think that makes him the perfection. But when you compare someone like Bruno to Odegaard, Bruno does not have that. I don't know whether anybody used to play FIFA like in the 90s, where the ball, when you dribbled, it just stuck to you. You know, you play the modern FIFA game, and when you dribble the ball, you can lose control of the ball, can't you? It can, it can take a heavy touch. But when you used to play FIFA in the 90s, the ball would never move. You would dribble and it would just be like magnetic. And that's what Odegaard's like as a number 10. He's all about retention. He's all about keeping the ball close. He'll play a pass to have it back. He'll probe. He's always keeps the ball under his protection. And that's how you become a team that has wave after wave of attack in the final third. Final third possession revolves around having somebody that can keep hold of that ball and keep probing. And that's how your overall possession goes up, of course. Now with Manchester United, it's very quick. We get the ball. Where's the killer pass? Where's the Hail Mary? Where's the Hollywood ball? Oh, they've got it back again. And this is why we concede a lot of shots, because when we attack, it's really, really quick. If you play against Man United, you're going to break on us 10, 20 times a game. You play against Arsenal, you're not going to break on them 10, 20 times a game, because they're going to look after the ball for longer. So their possession stats go up and your opportunity to break goes down. United are a really quick, when they get the ball, where's the pass? Where's the pass? Where's the pass? And if it breaks down or it goes out for a goal kick or whatever. And I think that the transition in the modern game is that you do need an Odegaard style player who can just get hold of the ball and run the game. And everybody will react to that. If you put Odegaard in United's team against Liverpool, we play very, very differently, because he's the captain as well. Some might say, well, that won't work because Rashford, Garnacho, they're just going to shoot. But Odegaard's also the captain, so he dictates the play. So he will go, if I give you the ball, I don't want you to fucking shoot from 30 yards. And if you do, I'll bollock you. Give me back the ball and make a move, and I will find you. Or if I can't find you, I'll keep probing until I can. Odegaard is massively important, and this is the type of player that Man United need. It's the type of player that everybody needs at the top level, but you've got to have that player. You've got to have that player that's just the focal point of the team. And I think Odegaard has just been so good since Christmas, since Havertz has moved out of the midfield. You've got Declan Rice and Jorginho running the midfield behind him, and he's just got that sort of 30 metres block where he can just go right to left, pick up the ball and dictate things. Before Christmas, he had to share that space with Havertz, and it wasn't working as well. AJ says, people often forget the hype surrounding Odegaard as a 16-year-old and all the top clubs wanted. He's truly living up to his potential. I think that's a great point, AJ. I mean, I hadn't forgotten about it, but you reminded me of it. Yeah, he was meant to be this big, massive thing, wasn't he? And, Arsenal played a blinder with him. Absolute blinder. Darth says, Mark, as a Porto fan, see if you remember Costina. I remember the name. Google and find a picture of today's referee, then compare him and Trossard. My God, scary. They have no word, says Havard. I need the name of the referee. Is Garnacho's goal the best United goal ever? Says 40. What, the overhead? No. There's been better goals. It was amazing. It was an amazing goal, but there has been better goals. I'm a goalkeeper and my legend is David Seaman, says Al. Can you rank top 5 goalkeepers in the Premier League? Is any of them better than Schmeichel or Seaman? Oh, I've asked people to stop doing this. A computer will be used to draw the matches for the Champions League next year. Can't wait for City to face Copenhagen, Basel and Young Boys, says Bart. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't trust the computer. I'd rather people did it with their balls. I don't trust the computer program, sorry. Favourite moment from The Office, says Dan. I thought it was nice. The dance was hilarious when I first saw it, but I also thought Tim and Dawn getting together. Matea says Porto players are an embarrassment to football. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Right, let me tell you who the top 5 goalkeepers are in the Premier League. Well, Alisson's number 1. I'd say Edison probably is number 2. This season, it would be harsh not to put someone like Vicario in there or Martinez. 5th place, I think Reyes had a good season. Yeah. The referee is Clement Turpin. Right, here we go. I've seen him before. I've seen him on the TV tonight. He does look like Odegaard. It's like that. It's like that Spider-Man meme, isn't it? I know. Evening to the mods as well. I think Gems is in as well. Okay. Yeah, I'd fancy Arsenal to get this job done in the second half. Areola's had a very good season. A very good season. Klopp to take over from Don Carlo end of 2026 when he retires, as Christopher Wilkinson. I think that, I mean, look, I'm happy to answer your questions. I think that when it comes to Jurgen Klopp, his respect and love for Liverpool will mean that he takes at least a year out. I've played the game. I don't think I can think of an occasion where a manager can walk out of a job and literally know that for the next 3 years, whenever he comes back, pretty much everyone's going to think, do we want to sack our manager to get him? And I mean that. If Jurgen Klopp next summer says he's coming back and has a year off, which I think he will. We've always seen those pictures of Klopp, you know, on holiday with a pint and a cigar. I think he'll take a year out and I think he'll love it. And then I think he will come back next summer, because you're not going to want to take a job at Christmas. You're not going to want to take a job in January. He will want a job where he starts in the summer. I think he will take at least a year out, and I'm telling you now, Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, Bayern Munich, whoever the manager is at that time when Klopp says he's coming back, I think clubs will go, see you later. Who's going to be the next German manager? I mean, I did think maybe he would do that. Maybe he'd take the Germany job, but I don't think he will. Just would like to say, you don't have to answer every start, bench, sell, or would you rather? We appreciate your patience, Mark. You're a legend, says It's Louis. Thank you very much, mate. England won, Jack, yet, so mouthy. France will win, says Sully. Yeah, I'll see you in mid-July. Sully. The only way England don't win the Euros is 2 words, Gareth Southgate. Dolphin says Klopp's made enough money to retire. That's not how life works, mate. I know loads of people who've made enough money to retire, but they don't want to retire. You know? I just think he's burnt out at the moment. I think he'll be back. I think he will be back. I heard something today about playing Gareth Southgate, playing Ollie Watkins and Harry Kane up front together. I was like, what's going on? I can't speak here. I can't speak. What's going on? Sorry, we didn't even talk about the stats. Yeah, possession-wise, Porto have done quite well considering they're playing Arsenal. 7 shots to 5, 2 shots on target to 1. It's been quite, Arsenal have shaded it, but it's not over yet, is what I would say. I know what I was going to ask you tonight. I've already asked you what animal you would make extinct. That was quite a good section. But what are the chances of Germany winning the Euros, says the Nutbuster. Never write off the Germans, because all my life they've been pretty efficient, but I don't fancy them to win it. Here's one for you. What's your... I can't think what the word is. Not advice. What's your top tip home remedy? And what I mean by that is, I got told this before, and I don't know whether it's a placebo, but if you've got a cold, get some of that Vic, or whatever you call it. You know, that stuff that's like creamy but smells of like menthol. If you've got a cold, before you go to bed, you've got to do it on the edge of your bed. Get some of that Vic, rub it on the soles of your feet, put a pair of socks on, do it on the other one, and the next morning it will have cleared your sinuses. I don't know what that's all about, but apparently, that's works. Hot 7-Up when you're feeling ill, says Cedar. Love that. Vapor rub, that's what we call it. Thank you very much. So if you've got any top tips on home remedies, it doesn't have to be something that makes you feel better. It could be like, I don't know, tomato ketchup on your cornflakes. Home remedies / recipes. I want to read some of these out. Andrew Rogers says, do you think there's a chance Klopp could take a year or two out and go back to Liverpool? You never know, Andrew. You never know. I mean, it's not like Sir Alex, when he retired from United, he was never coming back. If Sir Alex had retired at the age Klopp's retiring, he'd have come back. He'd have seen the state of the club and he said, I'm not having this. Get out of the way. I've played the game. Get out. Get out. Mark, would you consider bringing Haaland back for Goldbridge on the podcast, considering his drought in the Prem? That's not a bad idea, Captain Red. Mark, I'm considering a career change after 5 years in my industry. Pay is good and job is safe, but I'm not interested in that field at all. Any advice? Is NON. If it involves being self-employed, do it. But make sure you are comfortable with it. In fact, sod it. If you've got something lined up that you think's interesting, but it's a risk, do it. Unless it's jumping in a cage with great white sharks. Don't do that. Thank you very much. Honey lemon, says Sharma. Turmeric water, says Arham. What does that do? Minnie says, if you have a hangover, have some whatever you were drinking the night before. Hangover gone. That's just getting pissed again, though, isn't it? Coffee and paracetamol, that's a home remedy, says Ruby. I don't know about that. Caffeine and paracetamol. Hot Ribena. Oh, yes. Everyone's just giving us recipes for colds now. It doesn't have to be colds. Could be acne. Could be stomach ache. Could be, a nice little treat that's a bit weird and niche. Here's one of mine. Toast beans. Basically, you put the beans on the toast. I'm taking the piss. Yeah, everyone knows about beans on toast. No, I have beans on toast, sprinkle a bit of cheese on the top, and then open up a packet of crisps. Normally prawn cocktail, before I open them, I give them a bit of a crunch, sprinkle them on the top, eat away. You get crisp beans, cheese, toast. Love it. I can verify the Vicks remedy. Allegedly, it's to do with the eucalyptus in it, says Ice Cold. Yeah, you put it on the sole of your feet. We're ready to go for the second half. Gavin says that's disgusting. Here's another one for you. I learnt this when I was at school. Put a Snickers in the microwave for 30 seconds. Put your ice cream on top of the Snickers. Put it back in for 15 seconds. Mix it all about. Bang in. Matthew McFadden says chicken and dessert waffles with maple syrup is the best food combination of all time. Well, the best sandwich you can ever have. I did a video of it years ago. Goldbridge makes the best sandwich ever. Dice says if you put a Boost bar in the freezer, it's very good. Weetabix and butter. Oh my God. Don't think Jesus would ever slip so far down the Arsenal pecking order. I thought it was, you know, new age. I thought you were actually being religious there. He's talking about Jesus. Well, we're up and running here. Porto are on the attack. I'm going to read it. It's after 9 o'clock. Sod it. Ezzy says, when I have a headache, I have a nice wank. Problem solved. Oh. Pizza sandwiches. That's just carb and carb, isn't it? I do that a lot though, carb and carb. Like I had pasta tonight with garlic bread. It's carb and carb, isn't it? Like when I have a Chinese, I mean Chinese is the worst. I have rice, noodles, and chips. That's a threesome. That's a carbohydrate threesome. And it's just as satisfying as well. Just trust me. Lee Berman says, does anyone dry their legs after a shower? I don't bother. Well, amazingly, apparently, a lot of people don't wash their legs in the shower, which I just think's weird. Do you wash your legs in the shower? Or do you just do the top half and let it roll down? I tell you what, if anybody's got any of those, I'm big up for some of those. Getting your divisive things that are gonna blow people's minds. I.e., I can't believe when people are stood in the shower, they face it. I always have my back to the shower. If I'm in the shower and it's coming down and the pipe's behind me, I have my back to it. That sounds wrong. But that's exactly why I do it. Backs to the wall. You know, I've not been to prison yet, but I'm practicing for it. You know, you have a shower with your back to the wall. So, trust me, all you people who face the shower, if you go to prison, you need to turn around. Face the door, exactly. Yeah, back to the shower is the only way to go, Jasper. Apparently, a lot of people don't face, they look at the wall. Rijo says using soap is bad for your skin. Sparky says, have you ever done stand-up? I mean, a few of the United Stand shows, if anyone came to them, there were a few jokes and stuff in it, yeah. Cads says, I face the shower. Well, I hate to say it, Cads, your ass is vulnerable. You know, if you're facing the shower and a burglar comes in, then you could get violated. I mean, you'd be very unlucky if someone broke into your house to nick your TV from your bedroom, and as they walked past, they saw you in the shower facing the wall and thought, well, I'm here now, and had a go on you. But you never know. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry. Somebody just Killian stands on the side. That's even more weird. So the shower's coming down and you stand like that. No, that's it. That's the worst of the lot. Come on, Arsenal, get the winner. Trousers before socks. Oh, I love this one. Trousers before socks, Tracy. Do you put your trousers on before your socks? No. My formation is 4-3-3. No, out of the shower, dry off. That's the towel. That's nothing else. I was trying to think then if I put my socks on first. You can't do that. It's definitely boxer shorts for me, or pants. You don't put your socks on first, because imagine something goes wrong, like a big fire, and you're running out with your socks on. You've got to put your pants on first. You've got to put your pants on first. And I do. I go pants, socks, t-shirt, trousers, jumper. There you go. You heard it here first. The order of clothes with Goldbridge is pants, socks, t-shirt, trousers, jumper. I don't sleep with socks, Aidan. I sleep with my wife. We're learning some amazing stuff. I love these sort of conversations. If anyone's got any more, like which way you face in the shower and what order you get clothes on, love it. Apparently it might be a Napoli penalty. I'm going live to Barcelona. Live to Barcelona. I've only been commando once, Henry, and that's because I was walking to college and then had to have a shit. So I went behind a bush and had to use my boxer shorts to wipe it just to get me to school, get me to college. So I had to go commando for the rest of the day. But trust me, if you've ever been in that position, you would do exactly the same. There was no way I was going to make it any further, and there was no way I was shitting myself. No penalty. Why do you want Arsenal to win, says Alan? Yeah, it is a novel. It is a new thing for me. It is definitely a new thing for me. As that goes round, if you scan that QR code with your camera, it will take you to the podcast to listen later. I normally wouldn't want Arsenal to win, but I want 5th place to be English. So, Champions League. So we need English clubs to go deep. We basically need Man City and Arsenal to get to the semis. They can get knocked out then. Do you wipe forwards or backwards? You shouldn't wipe forwards. Absolutely not. That's like, so basically you wipe down. No, wipe up. Jenny says, which way do you lie when you sleep? I just think that's just depend. For me, it depends where the door is. Because in my last 3 houses, left, right. Wet your toothbrush before or after toothpaste, says Rod. Well, I'm going to blow your mind, Rod. Hot water for your teeth. When you have a shower, the water is warm and it allows the suds to build. When you wash your hands, the water is warm and you get a better wash. When you brush your teeth, why are you not doing the same thing? Warm water, toothpaste. Get on with it. And I put the toothpaste on before the water. You know, some people put the milk in their bowl before cereal. What's that all about? Come on, Arsenal. 53 minutes gone. Of course, at the moment, Arsenal are not going out, so they don't need to be worried too much. This would be going to extra time. Ezzy said, had a headache today due to 3 hours sleep and early class today. but couldn't have my nice remedy because I'm fasting, says Ezzy. I know. I mean, over the years, I've known a lot of people who do this fasting, and it's really hard, isn't it? I think it's what are people's thoughts on that, and how? I mean, obviously, it's a religious thing, but it's hard, isn't it? I think it's the water. That's what I was trying to say. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, I think my thoughts on it are I'd really struggle not to drink anything. That will give you headaches, won't it? Hi, Mark. Best chain restaurant and worst, says Dan. I have got a contender for worst. I think I've got to say I think the Harvester. There was a time when I liked it, but I went there not that long ago, and the food's not good. You know, I think you get what you pay for with food, and if you've got a good pub or whatever local to you, and you go there for a burger or a roast dinner or something, and then you go to the Harvester, it's not their fault, but it's just rubbery chicken and stuff like that. I don't mind. I haven't been to the Toby Carvery in ages, Bike. I probably haven't been to the Toby Carvery for about 8 years, but I normally used to go there in Acock's Green. Shout out Acock's Green, Toby Carvery. Used to go there on a Sunday after being out on a Saturday, and to be honest, I'd a better burger off the ground. So, you know, nice warm gravy with some roast potatoes. I don't know. It was always quite good. Justin says, do you put the milk in your tea, coffee first? No, last. I watched the Apple TV Messi's World Cup. Oh, Pavan, I've got so much to watch at the moment. What's your favourite chain then? I do like a Subway, actually. It's Louis says, how do you enter your car? Ladies do it differently. I'll tell you how I normally enter my car now. Like this. My back. Oh, I'm going to really need a stair lift soon. Nando's is very good as a chain. Yeah, Nando's is very good. I do like Nando's. I like Wagamama's as well. I think Wagamama's is good. You know, the good cross by rice, headed away. I like the kimchi. And chicken katsu, lovely. Not been for ages, actually. Got a good one in Solihull. Arsenal pushing here. Son says, do you love Korean food? What's your favourite Korean food? And who's your favourite artist? I don't know. And what's a Korean dish? Because I will have eaten it, but I won't have acknowledged it. Pick one for a social event. Beer, wine, or weed. Ali, I don't do weed. Social event. If it's sit down, wine. If it's stand up, beer. Yeah, Arsenal got a corner here. Fireplace or no fireplaces, Kenneth? Yeah, but that just depends what your house has got when you bought it. It's not like standing front or back at the shower. Punched away. Arsenal are so good at set pieces. Here's one for you. This one surprises me. Stand up if you go to the bathroom toilet or sit down for a piss. It's got to be sit down, hasn't it? If you're at the match or you're in a pub, you just stand up and have it. But when you're in your own house and the toilet's there, you sit down, don't you? Like I was down the pub a couple of weeks ago talking to the lads after a few pints, and they were like, "Oh, I just stand up at home." I was like, "What?" I mean, I'll do it in here, but no, you sit down and have a piss. Lovely. You're in your own manner. You can just sit down. Why stand? Been on your feet all day. Sit down, have a few seconds. There you go. Do you have coffee machine or do you use instant, says Goldio? I don't drink enough coffee to go instant. And I drink a lot of decaf, to be honest, because I don't think caffeine agrees with me that much. Robbles, let's have a look here. Ben White. Oh, bad pass. Do you brush your teeth as soon as you wake up or eat breakfast first? Oh, no, Robble, no. No. You know that last one about sitting down? That was a trap. I've never done that. Never done that. Although, you've got to remember I was also 6 when I tell you this story. Because whenever you say something about what you did in your childhood, people look at you now and then go, nonce, right? So, basically, when I was about 6, and I might have been younger, there was this lad in our class who was also 6, and I was 6, and everyone else was 6. Whenever he used to go for a piss, and you had the stand-up stuff, he'd pull his pants down and his trousers right down to his ankles and have a piss. Actually, we weren't 6. I think we were all about 11. I don't do that. Basically, I don't. If that's what you do, I mean, there was a reason for me telling you that story, because if everyone in the chat goes, that's normal, I'm gonna really want to get off this train. Oh, Marvin says that's what I do. Can imagine being at the match half time, you walk into the urinals and someone stood there with their pants and their trousers down to their ankles, stood there having a piss. My God. A lot of people saying it is normal. Yeah, well, I ain't doing it. What's your favourite guilty pleasure, food or song, says Ryan? I'd say it's food now, because as you get older, you have to be more careful about what you eat. You know, I had a fitness test. I had a medical to sign for United. No, I had a fitness test. It's a health check. I had a health check at work about 5 years ago, and they said that, do you eat a lot of sweets? And I said, yeah. And he said, you need to be careful because you keep at it. You'll be borderline diabetic by the time you're 40. So I sort of shut it down. I was doing 5 or 6 packets of hobnobs a week, though. So I cut down. Some people's vice is drinking and cigarettes. Mine was hobnobs. Hobnobs and a cup of tea. That was my vice. I could literally give me a cup of tea and a packet of hobnobs, easily coast through half the packet in under 2 minutes. It's just because it's just how soft and sweet they are when they've got tea. Lovely. But you give me one dry hobnob, I'll struggle. I'll struggle to eat a dry hobnob. Free kick here for Porto, right on the edge of the box. We could be heading for extra time. No, I didn't do 5 or 6 packets a week, but you know what I mean. This is soon to become a dating show where people need to know habits of Mr. Goldbridge, says Havard. Warm or cold milk with cereal? I mean, it's a treat. Warm milk, I used to do for years, warm milk. But I have porridge, so it's always warm now. Porridge is my breakfast. I have porridge with a handful of raspberries and coffee. No. What do they call it? Greek yogurt. But I used to have shreddies, put the milk in, put it in the microwave for a minute, gets it really soft. Lovely. This is a good free kick position for Porto here. Over the bar. Jinxed it. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Lovely ball over the top by Odegaard to Saka. He's going to keep it in. He's on the far side. Skips past his man into Odegaard. Back into Saka. Loses control of it. End of attack. LFC Gamer says, I can't have Weetabix unless it's got sugar on it. I mean, I haven't had sugar on cereal for years, but when I was growing up, that was standard. Cornflakes, Rice Krispies. I even used to put sugar on Frosties. That's thick. That is absolutely thick. I can't have sugar on anything cereal now. But if you'd given me cornflakes or Weetabix without sugar when I was like 10, I'd have probably punched you in the nuts. Or the chuff. Oh, I remember that. Weetabix with sugar on it. It would be shiny like an ice rink. Nice ball out to Trossard. Liverpool, Arsenal would certainly... I keep calling him Liverpool. Arsenal would certainly like to get that second goal. I don't think Arsenal play at the weekend, do they, either? Why didn't anybody tell me Solihull Moors are winning 1-0? You call yourself a chat? And they scored 7 minutes ago. Maycock. 1-0. Stretch the back. 25 minutes to go. Mo Edit says, what do you think about jam on toast? I will tell you now, going back to nice little things. Bread from the bakery that you've cut yourself, because you can cut it a little bit thicker and it's freshly baked, into the toaster. Butter that's spreadable, and then apricot jam and a glass of coffee, a cup of coffee. Oh. But it can't be that sliced pan bread. It's got to be baked bread, cut, put it in the toaster, apricot jam, boom, shakalak. Would you ever try the carnivore diet? It's good, says it's Louis. Is that just eating meat? What are we thinking here? Extra time. It's different in Europe, isn't it? It is different in Europe. I've played the game. Any chance of you going on the overlap, says Ryan? I don't think we need to go down that road again, do we? I tell you what, though. I think the fan show would be really interesting if they used... Goal! Goal! Odegaard, 2-1. Come back to that point because Arsenal have got their goal and it's Captain Martin Odegaard. Oh, no. They've not given it. They've not given it. Offside. Not a goal. Let's have a look. Porto players were talking about it. Here's Havertz. I can't see why that's... Why is that not a goal? Oh, he's pulling his shirt. Pulled his shirt. It's not offside. It's got to be a foul. That can't be for offside. He's going to book Arteta as well. Yeah, it's got to be a foul. It can't be an offside. So it stays 1-0. Arsenal. There we go. Shirt pull. Yeah. Going back to what Ryan says. Any chance you're going on the overlap? Well, look, what I will say is probably not. But what I think would be really interesting on that, and I've read some of the replies about it, and they agree with me. You know the show where you've got Carragher and Neville sat talking and they're interacting with fans behind them? I actually think it would be interesting to not get influencer fans and actually go and get people who are just not influencers, like a Liverpool fan, a Man United fan, a Chelsea fan, because I just think it might be a little. I'm not saying it'd be more authentic. I just think it'd be a little bit more. Well, you've got no idea who those fans are, but. Would you ever try the carnivore diet? Yes, we've done that. Arteta's getting a load of stick now. Well, 20 minutes to go. They thought they had the second goal. It was a bit of a soft foul, but to be fair, he did grab the shirt, so it's never going to get replaced. Lovely play. Odegaard's having a great game, though, isn't he? Gets it into Saka. Bad pass. Saka needs to wake up a little bit. He's not had his best game tonight. If you could eat one animal for the rest of your life, says Hannah, who would it be? I think it would be chicken. Oh, good shot. Oh, good block. Porto there. We're close. I think an offside was given. I think it's the follow-up shot, isn't it? Yeah, he's offside there, miles off. I tell you what, Reyes had to make a couple of good saves tonight. Wixter says Saka's ghosting in a big game again. Well, he's had plenty of the ball. I just think he's probably not having his best game. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Thanks very much for getting involved with That's Football, you legends. Next watch-along is probably going to be Saturday now for the FA Cup. Arsenal do not play at the weekend. They've got basically 3 weeks up. Moors are 2-0 up, says Colleen. Legend, Colleen. Thank you very much. Red says chicken would definitely give you the longest life if you had to eat that every day. Yeah, too much red meat's not good for you. A lot more variety with chicken. Fajitas, curry, roast, burger, stir fry. You could do all that with beef, to be fair, but Napoli haven't scored. It's still 2-1. Carragher and Neville have those influencer fans on the overlap on purpose because they're not controversial, can be clipped up easy and won't give them any real pushback, says Robbo96. How do you like your steak, Mark, says Record? Medium rare. No, yeah, medium, I think. Pepe's been booked. 18 minutes to go. Yeah, I actually agree. I disagree with Robbo. I think actually having influencers on, knowing how the game, I've played the game, I think when they know they're going to go on, it's a bit like being on a fan cam, isn't it? You know that you need to try and say something that you maybe wouldn't normally say to try and get the clip. V says influencer fans are easier to have on because they say and do what they don't. Oh, I don't know. I've never been on the show, so I don't know. Who likes chicken curry? Yes, Kian. Nick P says, you made me nostalgic about a bread from a bakery. We don't really have them in London. It's either Greg's or a sourdough. There will be places in London you can get bread from a bakery, surely. Get yourself down the market. Shoreditch or whatever. They've got loads of lovely bread down there. Or get yourself a bread maker. I've got a bread maker. Never used it, but I've got one. I got an air fryer for Christmas. It's still in the box here. It's March. It'll soon be Christmas again. I can see extra time here. Kelvin says, why does the referee kind of look like Trossard? He does look like Trossard. Steve says it's 41 more Saturdays until Christmas. I tell you, there's been a lot of physicality out there, as I would describe it. I tell you what, Porto have made Arsenal work, haven't they? If you think about the goal, it's not like there's been chance after chance after chance. It was a good goal as well. Oba says there's no way Arsenal aren't going through. Well, we could have penalties, of course, as well. Could have extra time and penalties. Bit of a break going on here. They are so... I'm just looking on Twitter. There are the pictures of Trossard and the referee stood next to each other at half-time. It's incredible. It really is. Air frying with Goldbridge. New cooking series, says Ryan. You do feel for Ramsdale, don't you? But, I mean, I remember going on the fill-in with Watto and Fozzie, Ben. And they loved Ramsdale, and they were like, Raya won't get the... I said, Raya's getting that position. There's no reason to get Raya when you've got Ramsdale unless you're going to pick Raya. Obviously, that's happened. But now, now we're nearly at the end of the season. You can see why Arteta did it. You know, yes, it's the obsession with the ball-playing goalkeeper, but he is so much better than Ramsdale with the feet, isn't he? Kenneth says, start, bench, sell, 7, Shawshank Redemption or Private Ryan. I mean, Private Ryan was good, but I've never really watched it back because there's a couple of gruesome bits. Now, Saka's here on his own, 2v2, and wins a throw-in. Ronan Murphy said, Saka's better than Ronaldo. Thoughts on this? I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like saying shit's better than a steak. Start, bench, sell, 7, Shawshank Redemption or Private Ryan. Private Ryan's very good. I just don't ever watch it back, and so I'd sell that. 7's very good. Bench it. Shawshank Redemption, I think, is the most rewatchable one. It's got to be number 1. Start. There's a couple of bits in Saving Private Ryan that I have to fast forward if I watch it. I just can't watch them. The ref's getting a lot of stick. I mean, Porto, to be fair, have just defended really well and then countered, which is their right. No, foul. I don't know why Jorginho didn't get booked there. Should have been a yellow card. This ref's a bit of a funny one. I mean, that's a yellow card for Jorginho for me. Would Paul Scholes start for the current City side, says Jace. I mean, I'd find a place for him, yeah. Aditya says, gun to your head, tikka masala, British or Indian? Well, I don't know what an Indian tikka masala is, because I live in Britain. So I've only ever had that. I'd start Scholes with Rodri and De Bruyne. That's what I would do, yeah. Both managers have been booked, says Nicky. Yeah, he did just book the Porto coach as well. Goal kick. 10 to go. You're in that area now where next goal wins, aren't you, really? It's been a very dirty game. Very dirty. Why is it a hamburger when it's made from beef, says David? Because it was invented in Hamburg, Germany. God, I'm getting tired now. I suppose it doesn't matter if it goes to extra time for Arsenal because they've got no game at the weekend. But it's just nervous, isn't it? You don't want it to go to penalties. I presume the draw's on Friday. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. The draw must be on Friday. This is the last set of games, isn't it? But yeah, I tell you what, that'll be a good draw. That will be a good draw. Because I don't think the last 16 ties have been that interesting, but the quarterfinals will be. A lot of people are saying the referee's been pro-Arsenal. I don't know, I think Porto have been quite dirty. Pork pie or pasty from Cornwall, says Langford. Oh, definitely a pasty. Jesus is coming on. Bam, bam, ba-da-da, ba-da, bam, ba-da, ba-dam, bam, 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 bam. Jesus is coming on. Wow, this is going extra time, ladies and gents. Start bench sell. Hold on. Saka. Have I jinxed it? Odegaard. Odegaard. No, Porto are fighting for their lives here. Saka. Goal kick. Corner. Start bench sell. Manic Street Preachers. Stereophonics. Catatonia. Well, get out Catatonia. Mulder and Scully was good. That was about it. Stereophonics second. Manic Street Preachers start. Who do you think will win if it goes to penalties? Costa's a good penalty saver, Man United 888. Saka with the corner. Arsenal have been good at corners, but I think this is heading towards extra time. Headed away by Porto. Foul given as well. Time is running out. Time is running out. Yeah, Catatonia were decent, JR, but they weren't the Manic Street Preachers. Manic Street Preachers for sheer longevity. If you think about Motorcycle Emptiness, that was early 90s. They went all through Britpop into the noughties. Road Rage was quite good. It's all over the front page. You give me road rage, racing through the best days. It's a thing I liked about Catatonia is that she sang in Welsh. No, she didn't sing in Welsh. She sang in English, but with a Welsh accent. Saka! Palm away! And wide. They're pushing closer with 5 minutes to go. Odegaard. Oasis or the Verve, says ST. Look, I like the Verve, but the back catalogue of Oasis, Verve probably had about 7 or 8 good songs. Oasis probably had about 30 or 40. Napoli are done. Barcelona have scored. It's 3-1, apparently. Yes, it is. Gundogan's jumping on someone, and not in a sex way. Xavi's celebrating. Yeah, it's 3-1. (4-2) on aggregate. Design for Life is brilliant by Manic Street Preachers. Bittersweet Symphony is very good by The Verve. It's not my favourite song though by The Verve. And neither's The Drugs Don't Work. I would say I quite like Sonnet. I do quite like Sonnet. Everything Must Go, Manic Street Preachers. Australia, Manic Street Preachers. Kevin Carter, Motorcycle Emptiness. Design for Life. If You Tolerate This, what a tune that is. I mean, the lyrics. The thing I like about Manic Street Preachers is great tunes, great music, but brilliant lyrics. Like sometimes you get a good song and the lyrics aren't great, but if you tolerate this, then your children will be next. I mean, is there a better line in music than that? Here's Saka. He's got the overlap. He ignores it. He goes to Odegaard. Ben White's offside. This is going to go to extra time. 4 minutes to go. No, corner. Saka. James Parker says, come on, Porto. Well, I'm not a big fan of Porto anyway, if you know my career mode. Bloody hell. Was that last year? Porto. Playing career mode, doing really, really well. Pull out Porto in the Champions League. I mean, it's career mode. They absolutely done me. Couldn't lay a glove. 7-2 it was, Sid. Crap corner that. Costa's gone quick on the break. Rice throw in. Another sub for Porto. I've still got my career mode on FC24. I was messing around with it a couple of weeks ago, getting the next season set up, make some signings, etc. But just struggling to get back on it. I know so many people who are like in that area, and they're just the same. They're like, I'm really struggling with it. The Thunderdome. Arsenal lost to Sporting on penalties last year. That was the Europa, wasn't it? Everyone was saying it was going to be a Man United Arsenal Europa League final. Saka's really struggled tonight, hasn't he? Really has struggled tonight. Porto, 88.5 minutes. I told you, it's going to extra time, and that's a nervy thing for Arsenal. The way Porto have defended, could get a penalty shootout. She's got her head in her hands. Saka, 1 minute to go. Ben White, Havertz, Odegaard. So many Porto players back. They just can't. They can't find a way through. Here is Saka. Cut back. Terrible. Oh, he's had a bad game tonight, Saka. And I'm one of his. You know, I'm a big fan of his, but he's had a bad game. Has Havertz moved to midfield? Says Arturo. He has. Yeah, he has. But they're trying to be more attacking. What's your opinion on the Liam Gallagher, John Squire album, says Brad. I've not listened to it yet. I've got to be honest, I'm not massively into Gallagher and Noel Gallagher's independent single stuff. I liked Oasis. I'm not really... There's a few good songs I like, but... yeah. Here's Saka. He's going to whip it in. Back post. Way too much. What a... I tell you what, he's been really disappointing tonight. He has. You know, it happens. It happens. What do you think about the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight? Says Amel. It's a money exercise, isn't it? I mean, it's not real. The fight won't be real either. It's just money. Havertz. Ah, oh, fucking hell. How many minutes added on? 3. We've got about 1 minute 20 to go. This is going extra time, people. Go and have a piss. Get a cup of tea, whatever. Granton, thank you very much for your super chat. Wan says FIFA's lost its charm this year. You want Sam's as usual suspects? Well, this is probably going to be the last attack. The Bends by Radio is the best album in the 90s. I do like a lot. I do like Radiohead, Pete. Fake Plastic Trees, what a song. OK Computer was a good album. They sort of reinvented themselves with every album, though, didn't they? They did different stuff. Whereas I think their early stuff up to OK Computer was their best stuff. But they got quite experimental. .30 seconds to go. You're not going to get a free kick, mate. Odegaard. Jesus. Odegaard. Not going to get a penalty for that. And that's going to be it. Oh, extra time. Or is he going back for an injury now? Cramp. Fucking hell. Porto are very frustrating. I've got to say, they've been... It's been like we're not. I don't think we're used to this in the Premier League actually. But it's sort of old school Porto. And what a surprise Pepe plays for them. Spencer says Jurassic 5, best rap group. Porto are good, says Lil. They're well organised, defensively well organised. I don't think they've really done much attack. Oh, come on, get this twat off the pitch. It's nearly 10 o'clock, mate. You've got to do half an hour. Just get on your fucking bed and fuck off. Go on. No one wants to watch you with your bloody thighs out, having a stretch. Get him off. Get into extra time. Come on. I was gonna go and watch some bloody. Not porn. Arteta's looking a little bit stressed. Oh, fucking hell. Get this idiot off the pitch. Bloody hell. He's still there stretching his leg. Get him on a bloody stretcher and get him off. It's 2024, mate. There we go. Get the bloody stretcher on and get him off. He'll get up now. Here we go. Stretcher appears. He'll get up. Watch. 3, 2, 1. Don't. I'm not getting on that. Oh, he is getting on it. I think he might be injured, actually. Oh, you lot moaning about him diving. He's on the. He's crying. Oh, now I feel bad now. He actually is crying. Oh. Well, you know who I blame? I blame all the people who do dive. They're ruining it for the genuine ones. He's crying now. Look, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's all the people who time waste have led to me and others slating him for time wasting, and now he's going off on a stretcher. What are your thoughts on the band Suede? Yes, another good band, Preston. Animal Nitrate. What was the album they did? Was it Up? Or something like that. Really good. Film Star. Beautiful Ones. Trash. What's your worst football fans in your opinion? No bias, honest as the one dog. I don't know. I think it's very unfair to class a set of fans as the worst because there are knobheads in your own fan base, as I've come to find out over the last 24 hours. But one fan base that shocked me was Newcastle last year. When they started being good, the perception of Newcastle has always been, oh, they're such nice people. But on Twitter last year, they were bloody vile to Man United fans. Someone said City fans, but you got to find one first. It's a bit like, you know, those Where's Wally books. Oh, well, Porto put a cross in there. We're not even into extra. Now we're into extra time, surely. We're still playing time in the first 90 minutes here. Solihull Moors won 2-0. Up the Moors. Lovely stuff. Right, we're going to extra time now, so let's stop this clock. How you feeling, Arsenal fans, hey? How you feeling tonight? You could be going out of the Champions League. I mean, I want you to go through. I need this extra spot in the Champions League. They're feeling scared. They're feeling scared in the chat. Are you going to do a watch along tomorrow? No. No. No, I'm not doing Atletico Madrid against Inter. I'm not that into it. What's your thoughts on Skunk and Antsy from back in the day? Not my type of music, Joel, really. And not because it was a female. I mean, I quite like Sleeper and Eternal and All Saints. No. Do you think the new Champions League format will ruin it? Says Charlie. Well, we've got to give it a chance. It's being inflicted on us, of course, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. Baby, baby, it's the clothes you wear. I still think Arsenal will do this in normal time, but if it goes to penalties, it could be really interesting. Mark, I'm not doing top 5 Smith songs, Martin. You should watch PSV versus Dortmund so that you actually know about the players we're trying to buy, says KFG. Well, maybe I will, but I'm not doing a watch along for it. If I do a watch along, I've got to sit here and interact with you, which is great. But I can't get up and have a shit. I can't go and make a cup of tea. I can't mess around on my phone. So if I watch football tomorrow night, it will be pure pleasure. Yeah, the new Champions League format, Charlie, for people who don't know, listen to the podcast, scan the QR code. We spoke about it for about 5 minutes, but in a short sentence, 36 teams, 8 games. You don't play the same team twice, so you could get Real Madrid at home, Barcelona, you don't play Real Madrid twice. You get 8 teams from 36. After those 8 games, how many points you've got. If you're in the top 8, you go through to the knockout stage. If you're from 8th to 24th, you go into a playoff to join the other 8 in the last 16. Load of shit. More games. And you've got to be pretty shit not to finish in the top 24. Literally only 12 teams go out after 8 games. It's a money-making exercise. Oh, look, we've got a game against Real Madrid. It's a money-making exercise. How can you make them play 2 more games in the group stage, but only 12 teams go out of 36? Unbelievable. It's a money-making exercise. It's more matches, more money for not really that much gain for fans. I mean, how shit would you have to be to finish in the below 24th if you're a Premier League club, a La Liga club, a Serie A club? It's just not going to happen. Those bottom 12 are going to be, the shittest teams, really. Let's be honest. But people won't call it out for what it is. It's just more games and more money. It's to make the big clubs happy because they wanted a Super League. Somebody said the bigger matchups in the table stage is nice, but they won't mean anything, Justin. If Man City play Real Madrid, it won't matter because you've got another 7 games to get the points you need. Right, one day we might start extra time here. This fucking ref, it's 10:05, you prick. Get on with it. Thank God for that. I mean, he really knows how to... He must be a dairy farmer because he really knows how to milk it. Oh no, we're up and running now. Maloney says it's more variety. The group stages can be very boring at times. Mate, there's so many injuries in football now. We're going to take them from 6 to 8. I don't agree with that. Oh, so you get to watch Arsenal play Real Madrid in the Bernabeu for 1 game, which won't actually impact your qualification chances because when you play the shit teams, you'll get all the points you need anyway. It'd be like a glorified exhibition. Start, bench, sell, Hodgson, Allardyce and Warnock. Jesus into the box. Corner. I think it would have to be Warnock sold, Allardyce benched, and Hodgson start. Yeah, but somebody just said in the chat, yeah, but the current group stage, sometimes the group's done after 3 games. What do you think is going to happen when you've got to play 8 games and you look at the bottom 10 and they've all been beaten 3 times? What do you think is going to happen? I mean, that's the most incredible justification I've ever seen. Well, sometimes the group stage is done after 3 games. What do you think is going to happen when everyone's played 5 games? Those last 3 are going to be boring. You'll look at the league table and you'll go, got no chance of finishing in the bottom 12. And yet we've got 3 games. I mean, what if you get like Real Madrid at home in game 7? Won't mean anything. You'll both look at the league. I tell you what, I guarantee you this system's going to fall flat on its arse. Because by game 6, 7 and 8, you'll already know that you've qualified. And then what you'll see is Real Madrid will go away to AC Milan and put the reserves out. Anyway, we're meant to be watching this game here. Arsenal could be going out. Porto have just defended remarkably well tonight. Tyler says, what needs to happen for England to get the 5th Champions League spot? We need English teams that are in Europe to go as deep as possible and do better than the German and the Italian teams. I mean, we've lost an Italian team tonight, which I suppose is a good thing, but we could lose an English team tonight. Saka's overrated, says Yus. Mate, we're not. This ain't FIFA. I mean, look, he's had a bad game tonight, but I don't agree with, like, you know, he's had a bad game tonight. There's no doubt about that, but it can happen. Brighton are out, Jay. Yeah, league stage draw will be done by computer, says a Tuttle. Hello Jam says we will see more blowout wins and probably more injuries. The new format is about the money. Pepe for his Liverpool game, playing for 120 minutes. I mean, it's amazing what Pepe's still doing, isn't it? Yeah. Sir Scotty says the ref has been good. Hi Mark, I've heard they are going to pick the teams by computer for the Champions League draw. Is this true? And do you like the band Portishead? Says Becky. Apparently that's named after a place, that band. I know who they are, but not really thing. There was a band I used to quite like. I can't remember what they were called. Oh, what were they called? Oh, it'll come back to me in a minute. Odegaard's got a free kick here. He's going to whip it in. There it goes. Porto have been very good in the air. And they've dealt with that well. They won't want penalties, Arsenal. It has predominantly been defence against attack, but the defence has been on top. England play Brazil a week on Saturday. We're going to do a watch-along for that. 7 o'clock. Week on Saturday. England-Brazil. I mean, I say I'm going to do it. It is a friendly. It could be shit. I will do it, though. I mean, England-Brazil, they don't play each other that often, do they? I'm getting into the old Euros. We're going to win it. It's coming home. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. J in Jesus is hey, like Jose Mourinho. I know, P. I always call him Jesus. Dylan says Arsenal have been very mediocre in this tie. Arteta showing his lack of Champions League experience. Well, it's definitely different. You know, it is. There can be no disputing that. It's different to the Premier League, Champions League football, and they've struggled with it. Truth be told. Pepe must be the best 41-year-old I've seen, though, says Esto. Another corner. I mean, I wanted to have a look at the stats there. They've had 8 corners and Porto have had none. And Arsenal are good at corners. But Porto have just dealt with it so well tonight. Again, another good corner. Well, it's not a good corner because Porto have defended well and... Oh, I thought Odegaard was going to get booked then. No. Here we go, Jesus. He's done well. Pepe. 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 Oh, Rennie. How many subs are they going to make, Porto? This is a world record according to Romano and others. Al Hilal are the first team to ever complete 28 consecutive wins. Congratulations on this historic achievement, says Havard. Okay. Saka. Good tackle. He's still got it, though. He's going to go for a corner. Oh, he didn't see that coming. He's not kept that in. Sorry about that. I was just putting the tweet out. This PG, thank you very much for what's that? Unboxing. Why don't you speak, David? I've been speaking for coming up for 3 hours, so yeah, I don't have to. I'm not. I don't. There's not a requirement per minute. I've been sat in this chair with a few stand-ups for 3 hours, so I have a life. I'm not a robot. We haven't invented AI Bridge yet. And therefore, I have to send people messages because I have friends and family and stuff, and I have to tell them what's going on. So, I'm not here for your total and utter absorption. Apologies for that. But things are going on that I have to tell people about. And it's not like the games. It's not like I've missed anything in 101 minutes, is it? We're nearly at half time of. I'm too involved in this game. I want Arsenal to win. I mean, I don't massively want Arsenal to win. I won't cry if they go out, but I do want us to get the 5th place spot. I think it'd be really harsh for, well, probably Villa or Spurs, to be honest. But I don't really. Well, look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but surely Spurs fans. What do you do if you're a Spurs fan? Because you surely want that 5th spot to be there in case. And therefore, you hate Arsenal. But, look, I wholeheartedly want Arsenal to go through because we're losing too many English clubs in Europe and we need that extra spot. And you know what? We've got a massive Champions League next year with 36 teams in it. I'd like to have 5 English clubs in. To be honest with you, can I just say this? If for the 5 clubs that are in Europe next year, they're playing a lot of bloody games. Any thoughts on Yamal at Barca, says Oscar? I don't really watch the Liga much, mate. I can't really massively talk about it. Havertz is a bit of a shit there, isn't he, to be fair? I think Havertz is a bit of a shithouse. I mean, I'm sure Arsenal fans like him, but he is a bit of a shithouse. He does leave his foot in. Just push the manager of Porto. I think he's a bit of a shithouse there, to be honest. Look, I can want Arsenal to win and say Havertz is a bit of a shithouse. I'm sorry. He's that's disrespectful to do that. It could have, you know, what if it was Roy Hodgson? You're going to watch Villa against Ajax as WST? I think Villa will win that. I was surprised they didn't win in Amsterdam, actually. I think they'll win that, yeah. Ajax aren't what they were. Jamaican says these teams are better than Man United. Why are you bringing Man United into it? You must sit there obsessed, going, "Oh, Man United are living in my head." What's Man United got to do with the pint of milk? It's got nothing. No, that's the first. What's Man United got to do with this? Who will coach Bayern next year? Says Parker. I don't know. Sinchenko's coming on. He looks like he's getting younger. Benjamin Button. And Nketiah's coming on. Dill's praying that Arsenal lose this. It's heading that way, mate. It's heading that way. It's going to penalties, and that's a lottery. Of course, what we must say here is that there are no away goals, but they wouldn't make a difference because Porto scored at home and Arsenal scored at home, and nobody's got an away goal. Happy Slapper says Nketiah's going to get the winner, I bet you. Oh, I'm going to be staying up late tonight. You know, I don't know about you. I can't watch a football match and then go to bed at 11. Like, I have to have a good wind down of non-football. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner, and don't forget to check out the podcast, which is now on this channel as a video, or if you want to listen to it audio, scan that QR code. Arsenal should win. Trossard's twin brother is the ref, says Ian. I think subconsciously that's why people are getting on at this ref being biased towards Arsenal. I think he's been quite equal, really. I don't really have a massive problem with him. here we go. Havertz and Trossard again. No, it's not Trossard. It's the ref. It's not the ref. Oh, half time of extra time. Let me stop the clock. Arsenal should win. Trossard, I've done that one. Any thought? I've done that one. Thank you very much. Please do subscribe, by the way. We're at half time of extra time. We've got 15 more minutes and then we could get penalties. So, yeah, fasten your seatbelts if it's going to be that, because God knows. I mean, Arsenal just don't look like scoring at the moment. In extra time, Porto have gone even more defensive. And they've defended remarkably well. They've done really well. This could be the last time we see Arsenal in the Champions League. Extinct for 5 years. They've made a remarkable comeback. But the next 15 minutes could be their last. Used to do Attenborough so much better than that. Goldbridge was brilliant at Attenborough. I'm just not that good anymore. And Ketir and Zinchenko coming on for Trossard. The referee's going to be gutted. Maybe it's the plan. Keep your eye on the referee. Trossard's come off. If that referee walks off the pitch for any period of time, it's probably Trossard coming back on. That's the plan. And that's the real quiz. Come on then, ref. There we go. Oh, I'm going to have trouble with this. We don't actually have an extra time timer, so let me sort this out. If I just take it to 15. 15. There we go. Jinx Porto to win, says Amal. Well, if the jinx works, there's no way Porto are going to win this on penalties. Because I think that's how they'll do it, if they are going to do it. Porto are going for penalties, says George. I said this, didn't I? At the end of the first, at the end of the second half, at the end of normal time, I did say it's got, it's definitely got vibes of Champions League past. I mean, we don't see a lot of football like this, do we, in the Premier League? But the way Porto have played is traditionally what Europe can be like, where a really well-organised team that doesn't attack much, but counters, but defends really well as a unit. And, you know, I'm tempted to say Mourinho ball, really. It still exists. But we don't see a lot of it in the Prem. And I think because of that, Arsenal have sort of struggled with it. Man City would be able to deal with it because they're used to it, but this is football heritage, says Mist. What's your favourite ever Goldbridge quote, says Jay. I mean, that would be very narcissistic to do that, wouldn't it? And I'm such a humble guy, I wouldn't do that. I'll have a think what my favourite one is. I really did. I like the. I like. There's a couple that have made me laugh that I didn't realise. You know, the mum's cutting his hair one was completely impromptu, and when I listened to it back, it did make me laugh. And the dog dying, that was just perfect timing for a FIFA goal. So that was funny. The worst one I wish I could delete was the PSG Rashford goal, penalty. Harder than a wedding night stick. I just don't know where it came from, and yeah. Is this Porto's first corner of the game? Pink boots. Long time ago, David. How many years ago was pink boots? 7? 6? 5, 4, 3 to 1. Here we go. Porto's first corner. Imagine if they score from it. Well, keep imagining because Ray has claimed it. He's trying to get away quick. He does kick it long, but Havertz wins the header, but oh, the over the line stuff was funny. Yeah, I think some of the stuff. That's when FIFA was good as well. FIFA was a lot better then as well. This is going to penalties. I can't see anything else other than a penalty shootout here. Just stretching me back, don't worry. It's been a long sit down. Oh. What about Curtis's Grant? Yeah, that was a recent one. The Norwich one, yeah. Penalties, eh? Still 10 minutes, but the problem that Arsenal have got, and I'd go for it, but I don't think they haven't been going for it. I just don't think they can. They've just really struggled against this Porto defence. Saka, can he provide a moment? Odegaard. Saka. No, blocked. Can they just create that one moment? Mark, I don't know if you've had the volume on, but the Emirates is very quiet, except the Porto section. The fans are nervous, and they're going to be more nervous in 15 minutes. Porto. Goes out for a throw-in. Imran says Porto are showing how to play against Arsenal. Courier Quest says Spurs fans are Arsenal out, will gamble on fourth. That may well be true. Some people are saying Arteta out. Still 10 to go. Rice changes direction. Jesus does well, wins a throw-in. Ian's a Spurs fan, says, "Come on, Porto." They're just so well organised and compact, Porto. It's just whatever Arsenal's plan is, it's just not working. They can't make it work. They can't get up the pitch. Reflex says Pepe's loving it. How is Raya on penalties, says JTX? Well, let's do a poll on this. Who is the better penalty taker? Who's the better penalty keeper? Because I don't know. I know Costa's pretty good. I can't remember about Raya, whether he's good or not. I've spelt his name wrong as well. What about Ramsdale for penalties, says AKS? Be very, very, very risky to do that. FN thinks Ray is actually better at penalties. Football Edit says he's too short. Jeet says it looks like Arsenal fans have lost already. Mourinho would be proud if Porto won, says Connor. I mean, this. I tell you what, it shouldn't have took me long to say this. This game has reminded me of international football. It's just been very defensive orientated, slow, and predictable. Like there was a long time ago, I thought this was going to penalties. There's not enough chances being created. It's just very predictable and slow, and I think that's why it's going to go to penalties, because they're just not, the chances just aren't being created, are they? I think Porto will cause a thorn for a few sides, says 58 Go. I think to beat Porto, you got to score first. If they score first, then you're in for a long night or day, depending on the kickoff time. Unless Porto score here, imagine. John Lennon. Imagine Van Dijk played for 9 more years than he is at the same age as Pepe, says Harvard. Bloody hell. Oh, Odegaard has slipped here. They don't want him getting injured. Tickle says, Arsenal losing brings me joy. Well, what I will say is, and I've been saying it all game, is that Porto have been ridiculously well organised, and you've got to give credit. Whether you like their style of play, whether you think it's a little bit, you know, European, in the sense that there's been a bit of diving, time wasting, but tactically, that's not going to get you a draw against Arsenal. You've got to defend well and be well organised, and they've cut out a lot of Arsenal's strengths, which have been scoring a lot of goals for Arsenal recently. But I think the panic's starting to slip in as well. Is the passing's not as tight from Arsenal as it has been. They've just look at that from Zinchenko. It's absolutely shit. I'm surprised Havertz is only getting his first yellow card here. That pass from Zinchenko is criminal, though. I mean, he can't use tiredness as an excuse. Kim says this could derail Arsenal's season. Their next game is Man City, isn't it, after the international break? Mr. says this game has got a last-minute winner by Nketiah written all over it. And Atletico / Deitch Burnley vibes, says 58 Go. Yeah. Look, it's got, there's nobody says you can't play this style of football. I don't like it, but it can still be very effective. I mean, look, if your team's going to play Man City, this is exactly the way you want to play. If you had to go on a reality TV show, which would it be, says Jay? The one that's the least boring, shortest. So, well, I couldn't really go on Love Island. I'm married, so, but it wouldn't be boring. Plenty to do, if you know what I mean. I'm talking about like weather, you know, gym. And that's not a boy called Jim. I know that can happen. I mean, like, you know, actual proper gym. Weights, not that I do that. I'm a Celebrity would kill me, I think. Raz, mentally. Now imagine if they put me with a load of people that I didn't like as well. Oh, it would be good. It would be good content, but I'd get very stubborn and petulant. Nketiah, Havertz. No. Just bad decision after bad decision. This is going to penalties. We've only got 2 minutes. I can't believe Arsenal are going to bloody penalties. I mean, this is basically 5th place gone, isn't it? If Arsenal go out. Why don't you become a coach, says Kaka? Maybe I will. I have been a coach before. It's ridiculously hard to do it though, because look at what I do for a living. Pepe's making me think I'm not totally past it at 45, says Nick P. Talking about that, Goldbridge is coming back for a couple of games this summer. Don't know why I'm talking about him in the third person. I'm coming back for a couple of games in the summer. You never know, there might be a slim chance I might get a call up for the sidemen, not as a manager. Mark, do you think Barcelona can go far in the Champions League, says Devil? Well, they're in it. I don't think they can win it. Pepe's a Rolls Royce, says JS. Cello says, you've been a coach like I've been a Navy pilot. Mate, go and get a life. What are you talking about? What do you mean I haven't been a coach? Do you realise you can coach like a pub team? You can coach a Saturday team. You can coach under 15s. It's not that difficult to go and be a coach, mate. Fucking hell, bitter. I bet you were one of those ones piling on Sunday. You must be crying into your bloody soup tonight that you've been sat down by facts. Would you take Solihull Moore's job? No. To be fair, the Navy pilot thing works with that. I mean, I'm not going to go and coach a proper team. I'm just talking about like amateur. Yeah, I don't think Barcelona can win it. This is going to penalties, 120 minutes. I don't think he's adding any time. Oh. Penalties. Penalties. Shite. It's penalties. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. But I think this is just pure lottery now. How has it come to this for Arsenal? Against Porto over 2 legs. They've been to Portugal. They've had 120 minutes at home. And they've put themselves in a penalty shootout. And ultimately, as much as I want Arsenal to win because I want that 5th place to be English. Well, it will be English because it's 5th place in the Premier League. But you know what I mean. I want it to be a Champions League spot. This is hard. Costa got 66% of the vote on being the better goalkeeper. Therefore, another poll for you. Who wins? Who wins on penalties? Arsenal or Porto? I just feel that Porto have got in Arsenal's head. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. Yeah. I might be right. I might be wrong. But, nervy times for Arsenal fans, of course. They can focus on the league. That could be the line afterwards, but really, that's not the point. Here we go, penalties then. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved with That's Football. You're all very, very welcome. We're about to see one of the big points of this 23-24 season. Arsenal's Champions League hopes rest on a penalty shootout against Porto. They'll feel it shouldn't have gone this far, but ultimately Porto have worked hard and deserve this chance. I feel the momentum's with them. It feels like the underdogs have fought for this. It now comes down to penalty technique. Raya brought into this football club for his ball playing skills. Costa, the hipster's lover, who's going to come out on top? Well, I tell you what, we talk about the goalkeepers, but the quality of the penalty is what makes it. You know, I've always found it quite hilarious, in a non-laughing way, how penalties, people will say, who's got the better penalty saving goalkeeper? When truth be told, if the penalty kicker puts it in a certain place, it's not savable. On this channel, I took 10 penalties against Ben Foster and I scored 5. Me. Because I put it in a place he can't get it. And it doesn't matter who the goalkeeper is, they can't save it if you put it in a certain place. High in the corners, they can't save them. But not many people do it because they think in the pressure they might put it over the bar. This is the first Champions League penalty shootout since the 2016 final, says 6 foot. Hi Mark, it's my dad's birthday. He loves you and watches all your streams. Could you wish him a happy birthday, says Man United. Happy birthday. You should have told me his name. Would you do panto, says Jay. I'd love to do a bit of panto. Pray for Porto, they said, says Vita. Gary says, I think Saka misses. He's had a bad night. Is it possible for Sir Jim to bring Pepe to United? He plays like a 25-year-old veteran, says Kelly. Get on with it, ref. It's a big night. Should it have come to this? Well, yeah, it should. That's what happens. This is what happens. We're in London, aren't we? Here we go. Penalty number 1. Fantastic player for Arsenal. Had a good game tonight. One of the few, really, in the attack who I think had a good game. Martin Odegaard, captain. Arsenal always go out in the last 16, says JR. And here we go. Martin Odegaard to take it. Let me stop that. Don't need that on there. Martin Odegaard to take it. First one. He will score. Although Costa in goal looks intimidating. And he scores it. Don't doubt Odegaard. Left foot like a wand. 1-0 to Arsenal. I don't even support Arsenal, and I'm looking at them fans and I'm going, I feel for you. I hate penalties. I absolutely hate penalties. I hate them. That means they're brilliant. You know, the drama, the tension. The winner takes it all. The loser's standing small. Next penalty, Pepe. Not the Pepe we're talking about. Raya. How good are Porto going to be at penalties? I've got a feeling they're going to be really good. And it is good. And it's 1-1. And he's got number 11 on the back of the shirt, which was a bit of a hint before he even took it. Mark, what do you think of Gary Neville on Dragon's Den? Haven't watched it, Joel. Not because Gary Neville's on it. I just haven't watched Dragon's Den for about maybe 10 years. I think some of the people I watched on it are dead. Is Bannatyne still on it? That's when I used to watch it. Arsenal's next penalty taker is Havertz. He's done so well. He's had a glow up in recent weeks. Left footer again. Good penalty. Yeah, he's on the up. Same way as Odegaard. He's loving it. Yeah, yeah. It's not over yet, mate. You could be crying yet. Could be, you know, it's early days, but it could be one of those shootouts where everybody scores. Oh, Arteta loved that one. Why didn't Saka take the first one? He's probably 5, isn't he? He's probably going to go number 5. Here we go. Second penalty for Porto. Good run up. I think he'll go to the right. Oh, he saved it. He's bloody saved it. Raya. He went to the right. And Raya went to the right. Or his left. That's a good save by Raya, that. That's a good save. I mean, I spend a lot of time with goalkeepers. And Wendell, he's hit that quite well. Oh, did he save it or did it hit the post? No, he did. That's a good save, that is. It's low. It's fingertips. It's onto the post. That's a good save. Here's Saka. I've always said this about penalty shootouts. When they miss, you have to score the next one. You have to score it. Paul Ince, 98, missed against Argentina. You've got to score the next one. Saka. Bang. There you go. Might not have had the best night, but he's scored the crucial penalty. And now they miss. You score. The pressure. See, if he misses that, the momentum's back with Porto. And I tell you what, I think Costa's in trouble. I think Costa, their goalkeeper's in trouble. He don't know what he's doing. He's didn't even move on that one. Right, Porto need to score here. The pressure is on them. They've got to stay in this. Up he steps. Doesn't look confident. Oh, Raya went the right way, but it's a good... That's what I mean about a good penalty. You can put it the same way the goalkeeper goes, but if you put a bit of air on it, they can't save those. Anything with a bit of air in the corner, you're going to really struggle. You can't save that, look. Just can't get it. Pressure back on Arsenal. Declan Rice. 3 from 3. Michael says needing penalties to beat Porto is embarrassing. They've not done it that. And it's a lovely penalty by Declan Rice. And I tell you what, England could be alive in that Champions League 5 spot here. Porto need to score their last 2 and save Arsenal's last 1. There's an 80% chance that Arsenal win this now. Porto are in trouble, says Tony. And I tell you what, fair play to Arsenal if they do it, because I felt Porto would be favourites coming into this. They've scored all their penalties. Raya's made a good save. Costa's got nowhere near them. He stood still on 1. He's gone the wrong way on 2. He looks nervous. He looks nervous here. When's the Champions League draw? Is it Friday? Miss this and it's over. Remember, it doesn't have to be saved. And it has been saved! And Raya has put Arsenal into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The last 16 curse is over. The Arsenal players slide over and hug Raya and shout words I can't tell. Probably yes, get in, and swear words. Arteta hugs his assistant coach. And people in green coats that could be subs join in as well. Porto players sit on their backsides and wonder what could have been. Ramsdale hugs Raya, smiling, but inside he's crying, thinking that should be me. I have to make it look like I'm happy. Thanks everybody for watching. Arsenal are through. When is the Champions League draw? I think it's on Friday. But Arsenal go through. I've got to say, I'm actually pleased. I'm not jumping around like an Arsenal fan, but I'm pleased because I think it's really important that... Oh, what's going on here? Bit of pushing and shoving. I think it's really important that we get that 5th place spot. For England. And the more English clubs that stay in it, the better. But Ray has made 2 really good saves. I mean, that one is a bad penalty. It's a bad penalty, this one, look. He's not really put it anywhere with any conviction or power. But there we go. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Back tomorrow on the United Stand, and we'll have some content on for you here as well. Take care, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Check out the podcast. Go and listen to the podcast. It's bang out today, talking about the new Champions League format, actually, and Premier League, etc. Take care. Speak to you in a bit. Up the coefficient. Exactly, T Green.